This is a review of the Photive Bolt 9000 milliampere hour rugged and water resistant portable external power pack. Inside the package you'll find the battery pack, which weighs in at 9 5/8 ounces, and it comes with a charging cable that's a USB connector on one end and a micro USB connector on the other. The cable itself is 31 inches long, and it comes with a brief user's guide. You can see here on the box it says that this packaging is water and shock proof. I'd like to correct that. Technically it's really water resistant and shock resistant. The device itself is packaged nicely, and the packaging, if all the flaps are closed, is rated to IP65. IP65 means that the case is resistant to strong splashing of water. That means it can withstand a small diameter hose squirting water onto the case at 3.3 gallons per minute at a distance of about 10 feet. The pressure of that water is only at 4.35 psi, and as a result, like I said, it's like a small hose. That water pressure is only applied for 3 minutes for this case to pass the test. That means this case is water resistant and it cannot be submerged. The thing about this though, it's very nicely packaged. It has a very rugged case that's very thick rubber, gives you a good gripping surface to hold with a lot of ridges on the sides. You've also got a handle here that you can put a strap through like a lanyard to carry it or to hook it and tie it to your belt or to a backpack. Bottom here you'll see 4 LEDs. Basically, to keep it simple, each one of them represents 25% of the battery's capacity. If you were to press the button on the side here, which you can see right here, you can see the LEDs light up. You can see they're blue. That means this battery is somewhere between 75 and 100% charged. You'll see an LED with a lens cover. If you press this button, the same one that turns it on to check the capacity, and hold it for a second or so, the LED flashlight come on, and it is quite bright. I'm in a very light room here. It's got 3 walls of glass outside, and it is quite bright. If I press it and hold it for 3 seconds, the LED will go off. Under this flap here, which seals the ports, you'll find the charging port, and you'll find the 2 output ports. The charging port is at the top. That's where you input 5 volts DC at 1 amp to charge the battery. Down below that is a USB port rated at 5 volts DC at 1 amp, and below that with 2 lightning bolts on it is a port that's 5 volts DC at 2.1 amps. The top one here is good for your smartphones, and this is good for your tablets. You can see I have wired up an iPad Air. I'm going to charge it. It's not charging yet because I haven't pressed the button, and this is a voltage and current meter for a USB port. I'm going to slide this out and press the button quickly. You can see the green battery symbol come on and the iPad beeped, and right now it's charging at 4.86 volts, and if I flip this up it's charging at 1.74 amps. Plug this and quickly move it to the other port. It continues the charging, but you'll see the charging rate is dropped to 0.95 amps because I'm not using the 1 amp port. So I wanted to show you that both ports are working well. You can charge 2 devices simultaneously with this battery. In our extensive testing of this battery pack, we actually charged an iPad Air, which is a pretty challenging task for a battery pack, and we were able to get out of it, after charging this iPad Air and an iPhone 2 partially, we got 6,082.16 milliampere hours out of 9,000. That represents a 67.5% efficiency. That's slightly below average for what I would call a good battery. Average would be roughly 70%. I think that would come up as this received more and more charges to refresh the batteries. That means on this one efficiency reading, you could charge an iPhone 5S 3.9 full charges on 1 full battery charge. Even though this battery pack was slightly below what I would call the good rating at 67.5%, I'm still going to give it 5 stars. The reason for that is its excellent packaging, its resistance to shock and vibration, and its resistance to water makes it ideal for a hiker, a camper, or anybody who likes outdoor sports or a construction worker. I think the efficiency will improve after this is charged and discharged several times. I rate this at 5 stars. This review was done by JJ CEO. I'd like to tell you that I received a sample for test and evaluation, and I didn't promise a review, but I promised that if I gave one it would be fair and honest.